friends. Welcome to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host and author, Julie Jancis. So for the past 6 months, your angels and I have been working together on creating a very special free holiday present for you. You're set to begin receiving it January 1st. You see, each day in January here on the podcast, you're going to get a new mini healing to start your day with your angels. Each day focuses on a different topic to help you visualize yourself with an abundance of health, an abundance of loving relationships surrounding you, an abundance of wealth, and so on. Each day will be different and is meant to help you make this year your best year yet. So here's what I want you to expect. Every day in January, come here to the podcast, and there will be a new angel healing for you to connect with your angels. Don't worry, this won't happen all year long. I promise I'm not spamming your podcast. I just want for the first 31 days of January, you to have a gift every single day. And you can still count on a new exciting episode of the podcast every Monday and every Thursday in January, just like normal. These 31 recordings are just a bonus present from your angels and I to you to build you up this year by speaking words of faith into you. Okay, now let me tell you how to use these recordings because, friend, there is a specific way you need to use them in order to get max value. Your angels want you to use these 31 recordings all year long because as you listen to them day after day, month after month, these recordings will help you transform your energy and your mindset. These recordings will rewire your brain to help you break free from mental blocks and propel you so far this year, you're not even going to believe it. Now, you can absolutely come here to the podcast every day to listen to these 31 recordings, but over time, they're going to become more buried. As I put up new, normal weekly podcast episodes, you're going to have to scroll down further and further to find the 31-day episodes. Well, your angels wanted there to be an easier way for you to access all 31 recordings, so here it is. If you go to my website, theangelmedium.com, on the top of the homepage is a place for you to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. When you do, I'll send you free access to all 31 recordings, the workbook, and the teaching video that go along with this course. You'll have free access to all of it, and you'll be able to find it very easy every morning to wake up and start your day with your angels. I'm calling this free course the 31-Day Angel Success Formula because the angels say if you wake up and start each morning with them, with the recording of the day, you'll see an incredible, profound transformation occur this year within your life. And what could be easier than waking up and turning on the recording of the day, listening to this mini angel healing each morning as you get ready? Simple, right? It's simple yet powerful, a powerful way to connect with your angels. So when you begin to see these recordings starting January 1st, they will be titled Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, and those days correlate with the day of the month. So on the first day of each month this year, wake up and listen to the Day 1 recording. On the 15th of each month, listen to the Day 15 recording. On the 31st of each month, listen to the Day 31 recording, and so on. This way, you'll wake up and start each morning this year with your angels. As you do, they're going to work magic and miracles in your life. Friends, your angels and I love you so incredibly much. Happy holidays, friends. This is my present from them and I to you. You can be an angel by sharing this free gift with a friend who needs it. And don't forget, if you want free access to the entire course, sign up for my newsletter at the top of the website, theangelmedium.com, and you'll be able to easily access each of the 31 recordings every single day this year. All right, friends, I love you. They love you. Now let's dive into today's show. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Angels and Awakening podcast. I'm your host, Julie Jancis, and today we are here with Denise. Denise has just gone through the Angel Reiki school, but she has an angel story where she is going to talk about getting struck by lightning. And this is not a story that we have told yet on the podcast. Like, we've told many angel stories, and sometimes the angels come in similar ways, but we have never heard a story like this before. So, Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I'm going to have you take it away. And I know that you have a couple of stories and they feed into one another. Start at the beginning.
Okay. So back in 2018, my sister-in-law was getting married. She lives in Chicago. I live in Florida. So my husband and I decided we're going to take a road trip up to Chicago. We're just going to make a trip out of it, spend, a week driving and visiting my family and his family. So we decided that we were going to rent a car in order to get up there because our cars were too small. We have children and dogs, and it's just not comfortable. So we rented a bigger vehicle, and we were driving. We're probably 4 or 5 hours into the trip. My husband drove the first leg of the trip, and we stopped for gas, and he was like, okay, you drive the next leg. I'm like, okay, fine. So we get back on the highway, and I can see up ahead of us is like the sky is just turning black. I'm from Florida. This doesn't faze me. I drive in this weather all the time, so I wasn't concerned about it. So I stayed in the fast lane. I'm doing, 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour. And this is on, if anybody's familiar, I-75. It's a pretty big highway, and it's about 4 lanes wide. And as we were driving into the storm, it had just started raining, and we were struck by lightning. And I'm not entirely sure if the vehicle actually was struck by lightning or if it was just that close to the vehicle, but the car immediately shut down. Everything. The engine shut off. The steering wheel had no steering control anymore. The radio shut off. I think the only thing that I can remember making noise at that time was when you have the car door open and it's like ding, ding, ding. It was doing that and the car door wasn't open. That's how messed up all of the electrical was. And I have no recollection of moving that vehicle over to the right side of the road, the shoulder. So we managed with no steering, no engine to cross over 4 lanes of highway in the rain, and this is a highway with big Mack trucks, I still can't believe that we made it over there without getting hit or the car stalling completely, but we managed. And, the drama that happened after that is a whole other story with the rental company and everything else that we had to go through, the tow truck, all of that. But, a couple hours of sitting on the side of the road, they finally let us go. We unpacked all of our stuff. And that was when I remembered that when I was packing earlier that morning, I had gone into my car to get my toll pass out. And as I was getting my toll pass, I had this little nudge to grab my grandma's necklace that I keep on my rearview mirror. And she had passed away in 2016. And that's what I took from her. I took a couple of her necklaces. She was Catholic, so she had those saint necklaces, and I'm not sure which saints they are. They're so tiny, I can't read them. But I had the nudge to grab it and bring it with us, and I did. And so as we were unpacking the car was when I remembered that, and I grabbed the toll pass and I looked at the rearview mirror necklace, and I was like, oh my gosh, what was that about? And I didn't really process it at the time. It was probably not until we were driving home that I really thought about all of this, because at that time I was not very spiritual. I did not really have an understanding of angels and loved ones being around us all the time. So I don't want to say that it was the necklace that saved us. I just think if I hadn't had that moment, that nudge, I wouldn't have started to question what else is out there, or have believed that situation was a guardian angel or my grandma helping us, whatever it was that saved us that day. So for me, it was that necklace was really kind of my realization and understanding that there's more to life. There's more out there. And that's what started my spiritual journey, I think. So, God strikes you with lightning to get you to realize that there's more. So
that puts a new perspective on, like, spirit shakes you to awaken you. Yes. Yeah. Wow. That is incredible. Well, I've heard a lot of people say before when they tell their angel stories that they felt like that moment, like when you grabbed the necklace and you had that inkling within you, prepared them vibrationally within their being to immediately, when the incident occurs, be like, nope, you're safe. Everything's okay. And kind of transition you in a way that you don't go to panic or fear, but you go to like kind of peace and ease. And how do we manage this?
Wow, that makes it like kind of give me goosebumps when you said that.
Oh, yay. So I know you have other angel stories too. I'm going to have you share those.
So that was, 2018. So in 2016, my grandma passed in January. My mom passed in May. They both passed within a few months of each other. I hear a lot of people talk about how when they have people that close to them pass away, that's when they have their awakening. Obviously, that did not happen for me. I'm apparently stubborn, or I don't know. I had a lot of the stuff to go through before I got to that point. So after that happened in 2018, I'm not going to say that I right away started diving into it, but I definitely felt like I was more open to it. And then probably it was about 2019 when I really just was consuming information about this, podcast, books, praying, meditating, really getting into trying to find out what else was out there. So I was listening to a lot of podcasts and reading a lot of books on signs and how they talk to you and how they come to you. And I go on a walk every day, and I would always see, a cardinal here, a cardinal there, maybe a butterfly. And I was like, oh, okay, those are my signs. And it wasn't until I think it was last Christmas. So I was ordering a roast for Christmas with my family from a local gourmet meat market. And I called in to order the roast. The guy takes my order. And during the phone call, I'm just hearing this crazy, I don't want to make the noise, but it was like a loud screeching, like the old dial-up AOL sound was on the phone. And he was like, I don't know what's going on with this. I was just on the phone earlier and this wasn't happening. And I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. Finished my order. He says, I have to send you to the catering department for them to take your payment. I'm like, okay, fine. So he transfers me up. I end up at the cashier's desk and I tell her what I'm doing. She puts me on hold. And the hold song was at the chorus of that. It's an old, I guess, Frank Sinatra song called Pennies from Heaven, which I had never heard before. But the day before on a podcast I was listening to, they were talking about pennies being a sign from heaven. And so I was like, what is this? And that was it, 10 seconds. 10 seconds of that song. And the catering department picks up and he says to me, no, we don't do that. The meat department takes that payment. And I'm like, okay. So he sends me back and the guy's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll take your payment. And, and I just started laughing. I hung up the phone and I was like, that's the most elaborate way to get my attention. And this poor guy at the meat market, getting yelled at by catering. But so I just knew that it was either my grandma or my mom. I wasn't really sure at that time. I just knew that was just them giving me a sign. And I think the same day, my aunt had painted a picture of my grandma and sent it out as Christmas cards for everybody. So it was just a double whammy kind of day. So that was the first time that I got a sign through a song. And the second time, I think I was having a funky day. And I just kind of said, Spirit, Mom, somebody give me a sign. I just kind of want to know that somebody's out there watching over me during this time, just having a rough day. And so, of course, when you do that, then you're like looking everywhere. So I was out for a walk looking for a cardinal and looking for this and looking for a penny and looking for anything, nothing all day. So we get in the car to take my daughter up to meet her dad. And I'm flipping through the radio stations and a song comes on and I'm like, it's a song from the 90s. And really my mom and I bonded over songs. I think that's why I believe she's doing this for me. I just looked at my daughter and I was like, oh, this song really reminds me of my mom. And right as I said that, the song cuts out. And both her and I look over like at the screen, and I look at the screen and the map says I have 38 miles to go. And that's another story, but 38 is what I think is my angel number. So I immediately knew it was her. And then afterwards, I didn't think about it at the time, but afterwards, when I was journaling about it, I realized that the song was the Ace of Base song called I Saw the Sign. So it was like, here's your sign. So that was a pretty cool experience. And I just felt like, yeah, okay, that was definitely her. The last one, this was kind of a crazy one. It was really recent, maybe a month ago. I woke up, it was like a Saturday morning, maybe a Sunday morning. I came out to grab my coffee. I looked out this back window here and a cardinal flew up and landed like on that little bar there, like right there. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I see cardinals all the time around my neighborhood. One's never flown up and landed there. So I kind of just said, okay, hi mom, hi grandma. Thanks for the, good morning. And I kept going about my day. And I went out, I was in the backyard. I was like pruning all my plants and picking weeds out, listening to music, and another song from the 90s that reminded me of my mom came on. And I was like, oh, I remember she really loved this song. And I thought back and I was like, oh yeah. And I saw that cardinal this morning. And then I kind of just said, okay, thanks mom for the sign today. And I turned over to pick up my pile of weeds, and I pick up my pile of weeds and there's a feather right underneath the pile of weeds. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I think at that moment, I just kind of stopped and just started crying, like not out of sadness, but just out of like, you just think about how elaborate they go to like make you be like, I am here. Like you might not have thought the cardinal was me. You might not have thought the song was me, but here's a feather too, just like pile it on. So I just thought it was really a cool moment to have all three of those things happen. And I think it's important to say, I think for like your listeners, that my mom and I hadn't talked to my mom for 4 years before she had passed. There was a lot of issues there where I didn't get closure. And
can I just show you, like, because I'm going to hold this up so that people aren't like, Julie's just making this shit up, after she's saying. So your mom had me write mom dash channeling. I'm going to explain that. And she said inner child work. Because she came through, like as she was coming through, she's got some like tears. Sorry, I didn't mean to like cut you off or anything, but she came through with like some tears in her eyes, and she was coming through with my signs that mean she had some things right. Like she got some things right with you, and you guys had a lot of like great times that you can look back on from before. But she came through with tears because she said, I am so, so sorry. And she knows that she has things that she's still working with you on from the other side, but that bring up like a lot of inner child triggers, like within your heart chakra and your solar plexus. And so, keep going, but we have more to talk about. We can talk about that offline too, if we need to, because I don't want to force you to talk about anything on the podcast that you don't want to talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to say that her and I really have, I feel like, worked through a lot of our issues now that she's gone. So, it is possible to still get your closure after they pass. So don't feel like, it's a lost cause. The very last one I'll tell is, it's not as like really cool and elaborate, but I still think it's interesting. So my dad passed at the end of September this year. And, I was going through the Angel Reiki school. So it was just crazy, like all the timing, and I have had experiences now where I've kind of connected with people's loved ones. And I was so upset that I couldn't connect with him after he passed. I guess, maybe some grief, whatever. But when he passed, I said, Dad, I don't want pennies. I don't want feathers. I said, I want quarters, because then I'll know. Like, a penny is too easy. Everybody finds pennies everywhere. I said, you're going to give me quarters. And so I kept looking everywhere for quarters, right? My sister went to get her wedding dress, and so all of my siblings were there. So I was like, oh, he'll definitely be here. He'll definitely send me a quarter. No, nothing. We go up for my uncle's memorial, which is his brother, which happened to be 10 days after my dad passed. So our whole family was together. So I was like, for sure, I'll get a sign here. For sure, I'll get a quarter. Nothing. So I get home from that trip, and I'm unpacking and I'm processing the whole week, because when somebody passes, there's a lot of grief and emotion and drama sometimes with family. So I'm processing all of that, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm unpacking all my stuff. And I go to zip up my luggage. I go to put it back in the closet where I always keep it. And there's a quarter on the closet floor. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I just turned around and started laughing. I was like, you finally figured it out, huh?
Wow.
So it was just so random, but it was there. I mean, I have it sitting next to me. I keep it on my desk. So they will send you signs if you ask, for sure.
And I like it when people too, keep their eyes open for all the signs, because sometimes they're not in a position where they can get that quarter to you. But if you were at those places and you saw the other sign and recognize them all as from Dad, it just fills us with this peace and comfort. And your screen keeps flickering. Do you see that?
Yeah, I that too. I don't know.
I've never seen a screen, and it goes all white for a second.
I don't know what that is, unless it's my lighting or something.
No, I've never seen that happen in any podcast episode that I've been in. It's so weird.
Good. I've been telling my husband that I think that my dad's in this house, trying to mess with the lighting, and he refuses to believe me. We had a light in my bathroom explode the other night, and my husband's like, happens, Denise. And I'm like, I don't
see. Just as we're talking about the other signs that your dad is sending, and then he, this comes in and he starts to mess with the lighting and the electrical, and he really is inside your house. That is them. That is them all the time. I want to talk about this too, because your mom keeps coming in with just such love and such reverence for you, and just she holds you on the highest pedestal. Do you have a daughter yourself, Denise?
Yeah.
Because she keeps talking about how there's a couple of different things. She's going pretty fast. You will definitely channel her, and it'll get easier and easier. And you will channel Dad too. There's a lineage there. So I don't push people to take my courses whatsoever, but there's a lot there, inner child, ancestry, that's all kind of carried between your mom's mom, your mom, you, and then your daughter. But she keeps talking about you being a healer and how much good you're going to bring in. They're really asking you to check the self-doubt at the door and really step into your power. And your authenticity, that is your power, right? You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to do your work like anybody else, but you have souls that you are here to help. And they want you to have 110% confidence in that. And that, listen, I know that there's some people who come to me and they're like, Julie, I am way more woo-woo. I've been studying this, my entire life. I've read all the books. I've studied all the religions. And I'm like, they know so much more than I do. And yet there's some people that I've learned and I can teach too, right? And so it's not about, there's no way. Who is it? Not Brene Brown. Who wrote Untamed? Remember her?
Oh, Glennon Doyle.
Glennon Doyle.
Yeah.
She had a post the other day on social media where she's like, how do I live in a world where I'm not going to own all the dogs in the entire world and I'm not going to get to read all of the books in the entire world? And I feel that, not the dog part, but the book part a lot. My egoic mind comes in, and your mom is saying that it does this to you too, where it's like, I have to read every single thing before I can go out and I can share with the world. And she's like, no, you don't. You don't have to be at your top where you've studied for decades in order to go out and help other people. You have the tools and the skills. You've been through the training program to go out and do that. They said, really what it is your belief in yourself, right? That like, you can't. And I'm telling you, you're here to serve other people. You've got this. And she said, why doesn't it come all at one time? You ask that question sometimes, like, okay, so if I'm a healer, why don't I get it all at one time? And she's like, because you're not supposed to, because you wouldn't remember. And so when you come into new lessons as a healer, and then next week, a person comes in and they needed that lesson, they have to synchronicity, like open us up like this lotus flower, slowly opening its petals so that it's part of the process and the journey of helping who needs to be, served when they need it. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I'm like, I want this certificate and I want this certificate and I want this certificate. It's like, I literally had to tell myself the other day, no, Denise, you don't need to take another certification. Like, just do this for a little while. Like, you love this, keep doing it.
So let yourself be patient with the opening that happens within each of us. Because I tell all my Angel Reiki students, and I know I've told you, but I'm going to tell you again, the only way to not be successful in life at anything, especially being a healer, is just to stop and to quit and to give up. As long as you keep going, spirit continues to work with you and open you. And what I know about myself, because they've shown me so many times in meditation, is I will be learning my stubborn ass Capricorn, essence will be learning until the day I die. And that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Oh, Denise, I love your angel stories. You are just incredible. I'm just so excited for you and the path that's just in front of you. There's so many good things on their way.
Thank you.
Yay. Of course. Well, thank you everybody for listening. And we will see you here next week.
Thanks, Julie.
You too.